All right, here we go. Another commentary by Jazzman coming at you from across the electrical ocean. We've got Alakhami playing a unique split FSST Boghoppers. And he's going to be facing Bailo1965. And he is going to be playing a split between Forglar Swamp and Forsaken Waste. And as a nice little bonus, we've got Alakhami with us as well, co-commentating.
Hello, guys.
All right, so this is going to be probably a game on the longer side of things. Alakhami has informed me that he's aware of the deck Bailo is currently playing, and it's nothing but meat spam. And on this kind of map, where a lot of fights tend to take place far removed from the shrines, games can tend to go on for quite some time. So we'll see who that favors in the end. I'm thinking, like, you have a lot of something of a late game powerhouse in the Tide Master yourself as well, right? And the Swift Current plays potentially.
And Timothy.
Timothy,
will be
yes.
the main hero, I think, of this game. And I already drawn him.
Oh, you drew him? Okay. Nice. Good to see. So we'll see a lot of swarmed summons, hopefully. A lot of festering corpses. So the summons are starting already. We've got a Boghopper Tad being pooped out by that Guardian. And here come the Rift Spirits. Stitching them fairly aggressively, actually, into that Augur. They're only 7 HP without the loyalty bonus. But I think he's expecting you to either waste AP killing them rather than going for mid-font. That's sort of an unlucky positioning here with that one that's against the Nexus. So you can get a Water Vortex knockback.
No, but I won't do a Vortex because then I won't be able to get the font.
Right. They're probably instead just going to maybe hit once with Spitter and then send that Augur towards mid. He actually won't be able to get that mid-font contested with any of his champions since he was a little slower that deploys. Augur with that opportunistic, coming in at functionally 8 speed in the early game. Very useful. And there he is, the boy himself, Timothy the Vile. Soul Vitality Ritual Power upgraded. Soul Vitality also going to be huge here against all these summons, generating insane amounts of AP.
But yeah, this looks luckily good so far because of a good early draw.
Mm-hmm.
He had a decent draw as well. He didn't have a 7 speed champion. He usually would deploy something like Corrupted Guardian on this map to get that 8 speed rolling for the edge font. But the Guardian was good as well for the hydrate, so he had a 12 Nora advantage due to that.
Mm-hmm. It's seeming like even though he currently is unable to contest mid-font, sort of turtley stall-style play is sort of favoring sort of what he wants, I guess, when it comes to summon spam decks. You really want a lot of time to build up your meat walls. What exactly does he run as far as like damage threats or late game stuff that you noticed? Is there anything there at all?
Mostly relies on spells, as far as I remember, for the damage burst.
So nothing like Essence Devourer we'll see? Or
well, Corrupted Guardian provides some damage.
Right.
But other than that, not really. Not that much.
Alright. So Timothy currently... Oh, okay, so I guess he's moving up those summons. And they're actually going to lose 2 HP each.
Oh, and Deathcaster, yeah.
Yeah. Since they're not on Dead Magic Zone. So they are within swarm range. Well, one of them is at least. So we'll see a Festering Corpse coming out here. And yeah, the Deathcaster. definitely one of the rising stars in Forsaken Waste currently. I've been seeing him quite a lot in my games with this same build. Soul Sift 2, Blood Frenzy. There's great value on that. Basically a walking essence drain with his price. That also comes in with a decent amount of damage. Have you played it all with the new Deathcasters?
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, in several decks.
They've sort of, in my opinion at least, sort of replaced the Shadow Shank with serving sort of a similar role. That nice cheap Death Pact, and I've actually dropped down to 1 Essence Drain after its nerf as well, just sort of letting Deathcaster do most of the work, plus Zulos, stuff like that, to get to secure kills. And, you know, Soulbane and Steel Life to clean up. But Soul Sift 2, definitely a huge Nora swing. Thank God it has Eternal still. Otherwise that would be super broken. So we see Tidemaster.
I would have deployed here Swamp God Crusher, just to have some melee presence, but since he deployed Deathcaster, and I don't have really any premonition, I'll rely on summons and Enforce to Know for the melee.
Right. Big tanky stuff like Swamp Guard Crusher does kind of get... That's sort of the type of champion Death Pact is made to counter.
Yeah.
So that Nexus, getting a cleanse from Spawn Pool Guardian. You run...
useless.
Hmm?
That was useless.
Yeah, useless. That's just gonna... Oh, and he actually moves into contest.
Yeah, it's gonna die.
Because his resistances will dissipate at the end of this turn, so...
Yeah, Augur will get a Vortex and an attack.
And Tidemaster will get a hit. Spitter will get a hit. Will trigger Invoke, so all of the cooldowns will increase.
I'll have to make Tidemaster leap out to avoid that.
It's a good thing it's only 4 spaces now instead of 5. I feel like they really only did that for the Voths there, but it did help bring the others in line a bit. Notably, the Jelly was also one of the standouts of that expansion.
Yeah.
And finding chains on that Rift Lord, locking it down, and that Boghopper zombie currently in place to bodyguard something.
It's not bodyguarding anything yet.
Yeah, not yet, but it will. And Eye of Sirkin now. He doesn't actually... Now, he has logistics flanking, so he's banking on wizard deploys for that to pay off for him. And I'm not actually sure how many he runs. I'm assuming he runs several, since there's no reason to take that upgrade. If not. But he also has Soul Vitality of his own. And there we see the knockback. And 12 damage hit. And Spitter to finish it off.
Seems the Invoke bugged off.
The Invoke bugged? No, it didn't go off. Huh.
It didn't go off.
Interesting. I've never seen that happen before. I think definitely say that bug happened in your favor. I think,
it behaves inconsistently. I thought it was fixed, but yeah, it's one of the reasons why I don't really like to run Nexus in meta. He's probably not really enjoying this game because he feels like, in some sense, the deck that he's facing is a reflection of the obnoxiousness that he represents with his deck.
Yeah. All centrally focused around that one Timothy the Vile in the back. Just sitting pretty. sort of feels like, I guess, that he's maybe hard countered himself by playing the deck that he is. But he is going
I forgot to
for...
click bodyguard on him.
Oh, and I had mentioned it as well. I figured you'd put it up.
Yeah, so did I.
Well, he might be enjoying the game a little bit more now that Timothy is dead. So he did manage to get one swarm, but one not quite the number that you were hoping for when it came to swarms this game. And it looks like we're gonna have a relic contest by that pupil. TLC getting a shot off onto Tidemaster. So that does leave the globe for you at least.
I have no idea why I didn't do a bodyguard.
Well, you have the bodyguard at least now for the Tidemaster, so
yeah,
maybe corpse. Yeah, it's just a shame that he's going to get so much Nora back by that Deathcaster's death. But I mean, there's really no reason to leave it sitting around. I mean, he's going to get the refund pretty much regardless. Might as well get the body off the field. And the crushing charge, pushing those champions aside. Followed by Leap and Relic. So nice counter contest there. Thunderfist moving in, so that Deathcaster will die to the damage over time. And TLC has always seemed a bit out of place when it comes to relics. It has 2 defense and 25 HP, compared to most relics, which nowadays only have 20 HP and 0 defense. Although that sort of changed with the recent patches buffing the gems from every faction, like the Soultap Garnet and the Defiling Spinal, those sorts of relics. They have 2 defense now. Some of them have 30 HP. Which, I don't know, 30 HP for a 30 Nora relic, plus like Soultap Garnet specifically, where you can regenerate a lot of its cost, because the soul tap it gives is actually permanent unless cleansed. I think it's a pretty good deal now.
Oh yeah, that relic, it can win a match if your opponent doesn't run any cleanse.
Mm-hmm. And Forsaken Waste is a faction that does have a lot of synergy with that soul tap stuff, like the Utter Dark Dragon and the
yeah. You can build a whole deck on soul tap, and it can be relatively decent, because the champions that comprise it are, like, on their own, they're pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And they just get even better when you can consistently apply the soul tap with stuff like that relic. I feel like the fact that the soul tap is permanent is something of an oversight on its initial release. I feel like it wasn't intended to be, but just sort of was left to its own devices as the game stagnated. Because you don't really see permanent effects.
A lot of things are like that in Poxnora.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the top tile being the one that identifies positionally the state of large champion. I think it's arbitrary, but I mean, the programmers were like, fuck it,
they need to pick one, right?
We need to establish this piece on the board. So that Manic, like, relocate knockback and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember getting screwed, I think about a week ago now, in one of my games where I tried to pounce a 2x2 when I had another one of my champions right next to that top corner square. And my champion actually got relocated next to my champion instead of the enemy champion, and the pounce did no damage. Which was an interesting interaction that I had no idea existed. And speaking of 2x2s, we do have that Corrupted Guardian you mentioned earlier coming down. I don't know if I would have deployed it at the font. I think he would have been better off deploying it to deal with that Enforcer.
He needs some presence at the right side. I think that was a fine deploy. he it would have been too easy for the Enforcer to outmaneuver the Guardian with all the leaping whatnot.
Yeah, that's true. He does seem to be losing sort of on both fronts currently. All the ranged threat provided by the Tidemaster and the Spitter sort of pushing him back, and only the Eye of Sirkin unbuffed by logistics to defend. And once that Elsarin Bazaar dies, there's really no safe way for him to recontest that font. Thunder Fist moving up, safely out of double hit range of the Eye. And those summons just really putting in work on that Eye of Sirkin, trapping it, making sure there's sort of hurting it towards away from the fight. Tidemaster is out of bodyguard range, so I guess if he wanted to, he could get a kill with Soul
The idea
Bane.
is to provoke him to use a spell to kill it. If he feels greedy, he most likely won't. But it's one of those things you do every now and then. You expose yourself and you bait. I mean,
Right.
here I'm more than comfortable in letting a semi-dead champion die, but like he's low on fonts. If he uses a spell, he definitely doesn't deploy anything.
Right, and he did just
I
deploy
can
last
just keep
turn.
deploying and moving.
Yeah, at this point you're pretty much fine with losing one champion just because you have so much other board presence from these other Boghoppers. And it actually does look like he's... Oh, never mind. I was going to say he's moving in for the kill, but instead he decided to surrender. So thank you all for watching. That was a nice game. Have a great rest of your day.